And welcome to the Money Puzzle. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Brian Ramsey and Aaron McAndrew of Family Wealth Planning Partners. Brian, how are you today?
I'm doing very well.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Aaron, how are you?
Doing very well as well.
Good. I'm so excited. Me too, as well. I'm so excited to see you. Today's show I love, obviously. It's all viewer questions and a call-in show with variety of topics, if you will. But Aaron, right out of the gate, I want to talk about the money puzzle and what's behind us and how those pieces fit together. What's the money puzzle?
You know, I love shows like this when viewers or clients or whoever gets to call in and ask these questions, because we get these types of questions all the time. And the nice thing is these types of questions, they're not just one piece of the puzzle. So you can see several puzzle pieces behind us there. Each one of these questions that we're going to get are more than likely going to be a different piece of the puzzle. And what we do as financial planners is help these clients and help our clients put their pieces that they come in with into an actual puzzle and put it together.
Nice. So a lot of times people are coming in and they're not even sure where to start because they're confused, but you show them how to put the pieces in to make a beautiful, cohesive puzzle, if you will. Wonderful. Well, this is one of my favorite shows. I love viewer questions. So, Brian, do you mind if I guide the first one to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a great one. This is a caller. His name is Jim. He's a teacher from New Albany. How much should I be contributing to my own retirement since I have a pension?
Well, I tell you what, let's do this. Aaron is an expert with pensions in especially with Southern Indiana. He does a lot of work over there.
Okay.
So while I know about pensions, he's really the resident expert in that.
Perfect.
Because he does a ton of stuff with schools over in Southern Indiana, so I'm going to let him jump in and take that one.
Sure. Well, Aaron, the question was, how much should I be contributing to my own retirement plan since I have a pension?
Okay, that's a great question. I do get that one quite a bit. While pensions are great because either the school district's funding it for the teacher, or in Kentucky, the teachers also help fund the pension. So whilst pensions are great and they provide that guaranteed income benefit down the road, you can't control that pension. There's a number of factors that go into that pension payment, which one's a multiplier that's set by the state of Indiana or whoever the pension organization is that's running that. There's a multiplier. There's a number of factors that they can't control in the pension. So what I usually go by is control what you can control. So that you can control how much you're saving into retirement. So this teacher may be able to save into a 403B plan. They may have a Roth IRA plan. They may have something that they can save. So putting a good portion of the income, and usually typically we're 10 to 15% of the total, whatever their total retirement savings is. So including that pension, what goes into that pension, including any district match or anything that the district or the company or whatnot might provide them, then add their number in and getting anywhere between that 10 to 15% range is where we would typically look at. And again, that's not the same for everybody. I mean, it depends on how long you started, how long you've been saving. So, if you were right out of the, started teaching and you're, 22, 23 years old, looks different than somebody who's starting to save at 40.
Okay. All right, Aaron, thank you so much. Brian, you're next in the hot seat. Are you ready?
I'll take this one.
Okay,
I know I deferred the last one, but I'll take this one.
No, that's good. I love that you do that, actually.
Yeah.
So this is Ann from Middletown. She's calling in. She would like to know, I recently went to a dinner seminar, and I felt like all of my investments should be in annuities. Do you guys use annuities?
So this is a really good one. I'm glad Ann called in. Yes, we do. But I'm going to set the scenario and say that I'm going to use an analogy. And I'm going to compare going to a dinner seminar type situation versus how we approach it. So I'm going to use a typical golf bag, okay? So in golf, you have 14 clubs. And in one of our partners' case, Chris, he's over there, he's got like 19. That's a whole different story. But typically, you have 14 clubs in your bag. The most popular club you use in a bag is a putter. Okay, you're going to use that about 30, 40 times the average golfer. The next most used club is typically your driver. And you're going to use that 15 or so times around.
Okay.
Now, one of the clubs you don't use that often, let's say, is a 4-iron. There's times where I go play golf courses where I may never use it. But there's times where I go play and I may hit it a couple of times. Okay. Typically, when you're going to a dinner seminar, it's like, hey, come and listen to our, and we do them as well. But most of the time, when you go, you're going to go and they're going to pitch annuities. Okay. And that's pretty much all they're going to pitch. Those folks that you go see pretty much are using annuities like a putter. Everybody that walks in the door is going to get one, whether you need it or not. And it's going to be a significant portion of your portfolio. That's just how they work. We know because we know some of these guys, right?
Yeah.
And we know how it works. I would say how we use annuities is kind of like a 4-iron. We have clients that come in that it's not necessarily a strategy that we're going to use, but it could be that we use it. And so that's how we view it is really not every client needs it, but in some cases they can be a great fit. But again, I'm going to say it goes back to creating your financial plan or putting together your money puzzle and determining how that particular annuity would fit into your portfolio. Does it make any sense?
So it's not one size fits all.
It's not.
It's going to be very individualized and very customized.
Correct.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. This is a great question, Aaron. I'm going to guide this to you. This is Kathy from Anchorage. I am 63 and retiring this year, and I'm wondering if I should turn on Social Security before my full retirement age and drown from my 401k or turn on or draw. It is drawdown from my 401k and turn on Social Security earlier. What are your thoughts?
I'm glad Kathy called in because we do get this question quite a bit. In fact, one of our other shows, we talked a little bit about this. So the answer to that question really is it depends. So, it depends on a lot of things. When it comes to when they turn on Social Security, we would take into consideration health, family health history, what kind of current health are they in. We take in consideration, are they planning on working any longer? So they might be retiring from this job. Are they planning on doing anything else that they may get income from? Because if they turn a Social Security on early, they are penalized for making over a certain dollar amount. So we also, the biggest piece of it is the income plan. So we would ask, we want to figure out, okay, what is that dollar amount they're going to need in retirement? And then what is that if they turn Social Security on at whatever the age may be, 63, 64, 65, early? What does that do to the overall income plan? Not just right now, not the immediate needs, but what does that look like 20 years down the road? So, that there's not a real clear answer there.
Yeah.
We've had clients do it both ways, but again, it comes down to the planning.
I have a question, Aaron. If you turn it on too early, do you get a redo?
Do you get a redo? No.
No. So once it's on, it's on.
It's very difficult
Okay.
to get the redo. So it's a permanent decision, and again makes it a real reason why you want to consider this as it's a heavy decision when it comes to the income plan.
Absolutely. You want to get it right the first time. Yeah. Well, Brian, I know that you and Aaron have a very special offer to present to the viewers at home today. Let's talk about what that is before we open the phone lines.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so today's offer is we're offering anybody that calls in today and schedules an appointment with us an opportunity to come in to get a complimentary retirement plan. And what that retirement plan consists of is three things. Number one, we're going to look at what your retirement income sources are. We talked about this on another show. We look at your sources for permanent predictable income, your sources for non-permanent, non-predictable income. We look at strategies around timing on when to turn those income sources on. And then we also want to make sure that the probability is great that those income sources will provide you the lifestyle that you want from the day you retire until the day you pass away. So that's step number one. Number two, we're going to do a full risk assessment. And this is, first we're going to look at risk transfer strategies, which are things like life insurance, property and casualty insurance, disability insurance. That's where we're transferring the risk to someone else to cover. But then we also need to look at risk mitigation strategies, things like asset titling and beneficiary designations. Really, we're just trying to overall mitigate risk of loss of assets. And then lastly, we're going to look at your estate plan. So we're going to make sure that, one, you have all the documents that you need. And number two, we want to make sure that those documents reflect what it is that you ultimately want to see happen to your assets, meaning you're going to name who you want to receive the assets, when they get it, how they get it. And lastly, we need to make sure that all your assets are titled properly and your beneficiaries reflect those estate documents. And so we're going to look at all three of those things. So if you find yourself in a position where you've not done this yet and you've not gone through this exercise of making sure of all three of these aspects are in place and ready, then give us a call. You got the number at the bottom of the screen. It's 844-900-5210. And give us an opportunity to walk with you down that path to financial freedom. And as I always say, the path to financial freedom starts with completing your money puzzle. And that's what we're offering an opportunity for us to help you with.
Brian, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the phone number to call is on your screen. That number is 844-900-5210. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but remember, this show is your show today. These are all viewer questions. The next one that we address might be yours. Stay tuned to the Money Puzzle. We'll be right back.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
And welcome back to the Money Puzzle. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Brian Ramsey and Aaron McAndrew of Family Wealth Planning Partners. Gentlemen, a wonderful show we're having today. Obviously, it's all about the viewers, and I love their questions because they're very diversified and they're coming in from all over. So, Brian, you're up next. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You can always pass it to Aaron if you want.
No, we've already done that. We're good.
I love it. Okay. This is a great caller. Actually, this is Mike from Crestwood.
Okay.
And he says, I'm getting older, and I'm wondering if I should add my daughter to my checking account.
Yeah. So we get this a lot. So great question. So the answer is no, we shouldn't do that. Now, the proper strategy, and we see that a lot, and of course we ask, why are you adding your kids to your account? We really get two answers. Number one, they say, well, if something happens to me and I'm incapacitated, I want my kids to be able to continue to pay the bills and have somebody on my account that can do that. And number two, they say, well, if I pass away, I just want that money to go direct to my kids and not have to go through probate and all that other stuff.
Okay.
So there are two strategies that we put in place. One is not to add your kids to your checking account. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to address what happens if you become incapacitated. There's a financial power of attorney that allows your children to act on your behalf in the event you become incapacitated. So we can solve that issue by just having a simple document called a power of attorney.
Okay.
Number two, to address the if you pass away question, what we want to do is we want to add your children or your trust, wherever you want to go, as a beneficiary to your checking and savings accounts. Now, I will tell you, we did a show a couple of weeks ago talking about this very subject, and banks don't do a very good job of adding beneficiaries to accounts. So you need to go in on your checking and savings and add those beneficiaries. And it's called a transfer on death, or TOD, or sometimes referred to as a POD, which is payable on death. But that's the two provisions you can add to any individual or joint checking or savings account to add beneficiaries to it. So that's what you need to do. Power of attorney and adding beneficiaries, and you're all set.
Brian, thank you so much. Excellent response to that question. Aaron, this is a great caller as well. This is Kyle from Louisville. He's concerned about increasing taxes and not sure if Roth conversions are smart. What advice do you have?
Yep, that's another good question. Roth conversions are one of those strategies that don't make sense for everyone.
Okay.
They do make sense in certain situations. One, it depends on the tax bracket that they're in, the time, and then kind of how much leeway or room they have left in this current tax bracket that they're in before they move to the next tax bracket. Because when you convert traditional IRA money to Roth IRA money, you have to pay taxes on that. So the other thing or the other important item is, do they have cash on hand to pay for those taxes? So it doesn't, if you take the taxes out of the traditional IRA or withhold the taxes on it, that gives you less amount of money into the investments, obviously, so it's not as powerful. So if you've got cash on hand that allows you to pay for those taxes, it makes that strategy a little bit more powerful. One benefit of it is as well, because we do use it for some of the clients where it makes sense, is the Roth money doesn't require any required minimum distributions when you get to the age 72. And then if something was to happen to somebody with a Roth IRA, and they pass away, the money gets passed on to their heirs. If it's for example, a son or a daughter or whatnot, there's no requirement on how long they have to draw that money out, and it's tax-free.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Aaron, thank you so much. Brian, we have time for this next question before we head over to the phones again. This is a great question. This is Suzanne from Louisville. I'm starting to consider my retirement, and I recently used an online source to see if I could retire. Are there some resources that are better than others?
Great question. So the online, there are tons of resources out there. However, here's the issue that we find when clients do this. Or prospective clients. Our clients don't do it, but prospective clients, right?
Okay.
What they do is they go in, and it's up to that individual to input the information. So what they may forget is they have other assets that they really need to put into that formula. So that's the limitation of an online, is you're up to the person inputting that information, and sometimes that information is not always that accurate. So when you go to a professional that does financial planning for a living, we're very thorough in making sure that we account for every single scenario. It's not just putting money in or inputting the information about what assets you have. It's also looking at different scenarios that might play out in your life. And that's where the limitation comes in with the online resources. And they're great as sort of a what if, but you really need to go to a professional and come to us and say, hey, I really need to get a financial plan done. What does this look like? What does my retirement look like? And we can look and say, okay, this is how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, and then determine whether that plan is going to be successful. So there is some limitation with online resources.
Okay, Brian, thank you so much. Aaron, I know that you and Brian have a very special offer to present to the viewers at home. Let's talk about what that is before we reopen the phone lines.
Yeah, thanks, Cynthia. We've been talking about a lot of things on this show, and these questions that have actually come in are right in line with the questions that we receive every single day. So again, we're offering a complimentary retirement plan. Take a review of the plan, see what you currently have in place. If you're somebody who has a plan in place, we'll be happy to look at it, compare it to give you any suggestions or whatnot that we may have, see how we can make it better. If you're somebody who doesn't have a plan in place, or there's just different, you have a couple of these pieces that we're talking about that you have questions on, we're happy to go and take those pieces that you have, put it together in the puzzle so it is an efficient plan that you can use going forward. And again, it's when it comes to planning, it's not one size fits all here. So it's an ongoing process, but the first step is to pick up the phone and call, have a meeting, and sit down and go through the process. So the phone number's at the bottom of the screen. It's 844-900-5210.
Aaron, thank you so much. Brian, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the phone number to call is on your screen. That number is 844-900-5210. If you're wondering where your pieces of the puzzle are going to fit, Aaron and Brian have the answers for you. Don't miss the opportunity to call in today. That number is 844-900-5210. Don't go anywhere. We have more viewer questions the moment we return. The next one could be yours. Stay tuned.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to the Money Puzzle. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Brian Ramsey and Aaron McAndrew of Family Wealth Planning Partners. Gentlemen, a wonderful show today, obviously dedicated to the viewers at home because they've been calling in, asking questions, and they're anxious for the answers. Aaron, you're up next. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. This is James from Prospect. I'm 60 years old, retired, do not have a mortgage. If there's a need for me to have, is there a need for me to have life insurance?
That's a good question. So no mortgage. Life insurance, a lot of times the misconception is people think that they have life insurance just to help pay off debts or whatnot that they have. There's multiple uses to have life insurance. And again, the question, I can't, without knowing more about this scenario or about the situation, I can't make any type of recommendation. But at the same time, there's a lot of times people carry life insurance because it's a tax-free benefit to pass on to their heirs. So there's a couple factors that come into that decision. Are you currently married? Do you have any type of income, such as pension income or something that your spouse may lose if you were to pass away? So life insurance can be used for income replacement. There's people who carry life insurance policies for final expense policies, just so nobody has to worry about, paying for final expenses. There's a whole lot of different strategies that we use life insurance to help in the financial plan. So.
Okay.
Not just to pay off a mortgage or whatnot when somebody has. So that wouldn't be the only factor that I would consider.
Okay. Aaron, thank you so much. Brian, this is a great question. This is Justin from Louisville.
Okay.
My employer offers an HSA. Should I contribute to it?
Absolutely, 100%. So what we often have a conversation with clients around is, the taxation of accounts, because that's your biggest expense when you get into retirement is taxes.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is walk through the different sources that we have to be able to save. So we look at 401ks, HSAs, IRAs, 401 Roths. And what we want to do is look at how things are taxed. So the HSA is by far the best savings vehicle that we have because it is tax-free going in. It grows tax-free because those assets can be invested.
Okay.
And then it's tax-free when you withdraw it. I will say this about HSAs. They're widely promoted within companies for sure, but they're not, employees are not educated on actually how to take advantage of them. So what they're told is, hey, you can put $25 per paycheck into the HSA, and then when you go to the store and you need a prescription, you can withdraw that money tax-free. And you can absolutely do that. And that's what it's designed for. However, when you put the HSA in your money puzzle and you look at different strategies to take advantage of the account type, more often than not, right? Wouldn't you agree? What we find is that the better strategy is to allocate dollars into that fund because it's tax-free, let it grow tax-free, and let it continue to grow tax-free until you get later in life when your medical bills and medical expenses start to go up and you can start to withdraw that money tax-free. So are you better off to take money after you put it in to pay for that $25 prescription? No, you're much better off to pay for that out of cash flow and let that money in HSA grow, because it is by far the best account type that we have to invest in.
Wow. Excellent, Brian. Thank you so much. Aaron, I think we have time for this one question here. This is Dara from Hurstbourne?
Yeah, Hurstbourne, yeah.
Thank you so much. I've been told I should be saving 10% of my income for retirement, and the most part I have is I'm near retirement. I'm nervous that is not enough. So 10% of my income for retirement, and the most part I have is near retirement. I'm nervous if that's not enough. Does that make sense?
I think she's, yes, I understand. I think she's nearing retirement.
Yep.
And she's concerned that she hasn't been saving enough, even though she's been saving 10%.
Exactly.
Okay, so there, again, this goes back to a scenario comes up all the time, because it's common that when people get close to retirement, they start fearing that they're not going to have enough money to live off of. They're going to run out of money, or they fear that there's a stock market's going to crash or whatnot. So these are common fears. We see these all the time. The question is 10% may be enough, but we need to know how much income she's going to need to be able to live off of. We're going to need to know situations like, do you have any debts out there that we still have to be paid on? You know, are you currently married? Where are your incomes? What's your income coming from? So there's a lot of things that factor into this, whether 10% is enough, because again, there's not just a magic number that somebody can, you know, hey, I get to this X number of dollars in my retirement account and I can retire. There's not a magic number. That's the reason why we put the plan together and we put the pieces of the puzzle together, and when we're talking about this. So,
Like the commercial, everybody had a number over their head.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, great commercial.
Yep.
Right,
It was a
exactly.
great commercial, yeah.
Yep.
Brian, with only a minute and 20 seconds left of the show this week, any final words of wisdom and advice you want to give to the viewers at home?
Yes, I would say that this is really geared towards those that are in the accumulation phase of life. So we a lot of these questions are sort of pre-retirement questions.
Yeah.
And so I would just encourage you, if you're in that phase of, 5 years to a couple of years away from retirement, call us, come in and let's sit down and, we'll focus on, your retirement income plan. We'll focus on risk management. We'll focus on your estate plan to make sure that all the pieces of your puzzle fit together. Fit nicely together. We're not trying to cram something in where it doesn't fit. And then, you'll have a wonderful retirement. But we just got to make sure that we get it right so that you can walk down that path to financial freedom.
Brian, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, most specifically, thank you for spending time with us today. That number is 844-900-5210. Any questions about how the pieces of your puzzle will fit together, Brian and Aaron have the answers for you. Again, don't miss the opportunity to call 844-900-5210. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today.